So good to see Teddy Jr., who is a hot rising NFL young executive, but trust me, the acting career is not that far away either.
A star is born, but the Oakland Raiders, they're not ready to give him up.
This should be a good one here with Tony Weeks as our referee between Francisco and Avalos.
Okay, gentlemen, you both received your instructions in your dressing room. Okay, right here is good, anything below is low. Right here is good, anything below is low. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourself at all times. Let's go.
Teddy, things to consider early here. What do you see?
Well, one thing that I think you're going to see is that, as I said in the fight plan, Avalos a little bit more polished. Francisco a little rougher, a little looser, lives a little bit more life on the edge, a little dangerous with his hands down. And I think there's an opportunity for Avalos where Francisco likes to step away from you with the hands down. Avalos, I think, is pretty good at stepping with guys when they go back. That could be an opportunity for Avalos early. Step with Francisco going back and catch him going back. But what I like is both guys have fighters' mentalities, and both guys like to commit to the body.
Avalos doubling up that jab early and sends off a right hand to that left flank. Grabbing his way to the inside again. And Francisco returns fire, creates space with a left to the body.
For the most part, you're probably going to see Avalos doing a little bit of boxing. He's not afraid to go inside, though. And Francisco looking to walk forward, looking for those spots to either get to the body, as I said early, or set up a right hand. And there's a body shot by Francisco.
The right hand that landed against Avalos.
I give an edge to Avalos. The reason I give an edge to Avalos, Joe, is because he throws more compact punches. I talked about it in the fight plan. But there, you see Francisco actually catching Avalos going back straight.
Followed him with a right hand and tried to sweep a left hook at the back end of it. Now they tie up on the inside and bring Tony Weeks into action. Third man inside the ropes tonight.
Yeah, Avalos a little bit more succinct with his punches, straight with his punches. Francisco, real fighter's mentality, as I said, but sometimes a little wide with those shots. But I like the way Francisco doesn't just walk in the front door all the time. He'll move around a little bit, you know, has his own version of boxing. He'll move a little bit, looks a little cruder, but it's efficient, it's effective. He'll move around, he'll pick spots, and now he moves out, he'll look to step in at the right time. Both guys have to watch their heads in there. I'll tell you that early.
Warning from Tony Weeks.
Francisco's been involved with a technical draw in his career because of a head clash. And Avalos was involved in a head clash in his last fight.
Hands free.
Weeks trying to encourage them to work out of a spot like this.
Yeah, I like referees that let guys work out. Don't step in and break them so fast. As long as one hand's free, let them work out.
Both men landing body shots moments ago. Good start to a main event that should deliver plenty. Francisco and Avalos, more to come.
It's not just a number.
Couple mistakes here. Avalos, well, first of all, he goes straight back, but he also has that left hand low when he goes back, so he eats the right hand. Take another look right here. Look at the, as you see, Avalos going back straight with that left hand low. You go back straight in front of your opponent, you get caught. You have your left hand low, you get caught clean. Both those things happen to Avalos.
Stop. Let him up.
For Drian Francisco, this is his second fight in the U.S. His only loss was in Thailand. Most of his fights back in his native Philippines. Hank Lundy in action in our main event next week. Taking on a Josie. Should be a good one. Back on the East Coast at 10:30 start time to that.
Stop, stop, stop. No, I said behind me.
Yeah, that should be a good fight next week, as this show's been good so far. Two guys that make good fights.
Let him up. Watch him push him down. Keep it going.
Hank needs to get back to winning.
Yes, he does. And he's got a guy in front of him who I think is a little faster next week, a little faster than next week, but a guy who's entertaining like he is, and you don't have to look for him. And right now, you don't have to look for Avalos. He's looking to be the boss, looking to come forward. And Francisco's doing a little bit of what we did in the fight plan. You know, taking that little step back, trying to set up a counter. You're going to watch Francisco. He's going to try that poor man version of Floyd Mayweather, I think, where he'll go back, and he's looking for it now. You can almost see it, Joe.
The shoulder roll right hand.
Exactly, where he's going to turn that shoulder back. Not quite, and there's the left hook. Not quite as prominently as Floyd does, but where he'll do it, looking to score the right hand. There's the right uppercut for him.
Right uppercut scored from Francisco.
Let him up, let him up.
Francisco likes to go to the body, but he also loves to throw that right uppercut. And he'll throw it all night long. And he'll throw it from the outside. And he'll throw it with bad intentions. He'll really commit to it.
Stop, stop.
So far, the man who's wider with his punches, supposedly a little cruder, has been a little smarter, and that's Francisco. By stepping back, playing the boxing game, while Avalos is just playing the aggression game.
Stop, stop.
Avalos got to make an adjustment, I believe. Francisco's made that adjustment. He sees he's got a guy coming in. He's stepping back, giving a little ground to get something.
Hands free, hands free.
Creating counter punches, taking advantage of Avalos walking straight in. Avalos needs to change if he's going to win this fight.
Stop, stop, stop. Let him up. Stop.
End of round 2.
At peak, we're the
Joe Tessitore, Teddy Atlas, Bernardo Osuna here at Texas Station Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Meaningful 122-pound fight here between Drian Francisco and Chris Avalos. Both guys trying to work their way into contention.
Stop, stop, stop. Let him up.
Let's look at CompuBox and the total punches. And you see 34 to 33, 200 thrown by Avalos.
Most of the fights for Francisco have been in the Philippines. This is only his second time fighting in the United States. Most of the fights for Avalos here on the West Coast. Maybe there's a reason why Avalos is so determined, maybe stubborn, I think anyway, to press and get inside. Avalos been the bigger guy, Joe, between Bantam and Junior Featherweight his whole career, while Francisco has been Junior Bantamweight most of his career. His last 4 fights, he moved up to Bantam and Super Bantam. Maybe Avalos thinks he's a stronger guy. He's acting like it.
And Francisco's been ranked top 10 at 115 and 118. Now Avalos with Francisco in that neutral corner.
Well, Avalos is where he wants to be now. If he's the bigger guy, which he is, and more importantly, he thinks he is, he's in close. Now we got to see what he's going to do when he gets in close. He didn't do much. Needs to work, I think, to the body when he gets in there. That's where Francisco is a son of a gun. You know, he's awkward. You know, I talked about him not being as polished, but where he makes up for it is his awkward cleverness, Francisco. He'll step out, then he'll step in. He'll come at you with different angles, unorthodox angles with the punches. He can be a headache. Literally, he can give you a headache, because when you get hit, you get a headache.
Hands free. Hands free. Don't hold him. Don't hold him. Hands free. Stop, stop, stop.
That's not a good sign for me, for Avalos. He's been having trouble on the outside. He gets inside. What's he do?
Didn't let his hands go.
No, he didn't. He allowed himself to be tied up. And again, Avalos allowing himself to be tied up. You don't have to be tied up inside if you don't want to be. Some good straight shots by Avalos a moment ago. That's where he can make some hay. The sun can shine for him a little bit. Those straight shots inside the wide shots of Francisco.
Stop, stop, stop.
Now the pace is starting to become the kind of pace, Joe, I think is important for Avalos. You know, revving up that engine a little bit, being 7 years younger, he wants to have a faster pace.
See if he can keep some momentum here. There's a left hook that landed there.
Yeah, one last question. Does that come in cream? What's taupe?
Be careful.
Right corner of your screen, that's Chris Avalos' manager, and also working the corner, Mike Criscio, and he works that corner this week with a heavy heart. Teddy, so many in the fight business have respect for fighters of all sorts, and Mike went out of his way to tell us that this past week the world lost a courageous young fighter. 13-year-old Casey Ridgway passed away 5 days ago back home in Connecticut. Mike and Casey went through chemo treatments at the same time, and he wants everybody to know his thoughts and prayers are with Casey's family as they deal with their loss.
I'm sure Casey's up there throwing a few jabs with you, Mike.
I know your foundation was involved trying to help with some relief and some thoughts heading in that direction. Well done.
Our prayers, our thoughts go out to an impossible situation for the Casey Ridgway family. Tracy and Barbara, the mom and dad, Jesse and Melissa, brother and sister. Our thoughts are with you.
So round 4 here in our main event. As we look at Teddy's scorecard, an important fight at 122 pounds for these two trying to work their way up. 29-28 Francisco. You, the viewer at home, can join in on the Friday Night Fight Facebook page and click on live scoring. Avalos winning that 3rd round, 2-1 Francisco.
More importantly, gears are starting to switch, go and change a little bit here since the last round, where Avalos starting to get where he wants to be, in close. Where he can be the bigger guy. We talked about that, where he can go to the body a little bit if he doesn't tie up. And of course, where those straight punches can beat the round punches of Francisco. What Francisco wants to do is be awkward. You know, use those legs, move a little bit, sneak shots in when Avalos doesn't expect him. Avalos will switch once in a while to southpaw. He's able to do that. And there's one of those awkward shots I'm talking about. Just what I'm talking about. And that is really the greatest danger that Francisco really poses in there. And he throws punches when you don't expect them. He'll move away a little bit, then he'll lunge at you, like you said, Joe. Lefts, rights, looping, sideways. Sometimes straight. Now Avalos has made that adjustment. I talked about it after the 2nd round. He needed to make a little adjustment, not just walk in. Now he's looking for the right spot. He's getting himself set. He's looking for Francisco to lead with some wide where Avalos can maybe beat it with something straight. He's being much more thoughtful now. That adjustment has been put into place by Avalos.
Stop, I got you. Let him up.
End of 4 scheduled for 10.
You know, I talked about Avalos needing to make an adjustment, Joe, and he did. He's coming forward, but look, a little feint. See that little feint? Little subtle move like that. He gets Francisco off balance, then he comes in safely. Early on in the fight, he was just walking in and walking into shots from Francisco from different places.
Finding the key to unlock things.
Let him go.
Yes, that skeleton key. Being like a superintendent in one of those big apartments, you know, complexes where the super walks around with that big keychain with a key for different doors. You have to find the right key for the right door. Avalos seeming to do that now.
See what Teddy has unlocked here on his scorecard. As he's mentioned, Avalos starting to figure things out a little bit. 38-38 through 4. Friday Night Fight viewers see the same exact way. 2 rounds apiece.
Shot, those guys there. Don't put none over on them. Those fans home pretty sharp.
Go hold him.
Again, Avalos.
Oh, left hook, right hand
He's got to be
from
careful.
Francisco.
Can't
Boy, so awkward, Teddy.
Awkwardly clever, Joe.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing, and he knows why he's doing it. And there it is again. And that is really the danger of Francisco, that he does what you don't expect. Little sneaky counter hook. Avalos, again, needs to go back to that thinking he did in the 3rd round and in the 4th round. Where he doesn't just walk in, he feints, gets some of those punches out of the way from Francisco like that, and then walk in. See, if I'm fighting Francisco, so I'm in the corner, I'm going to tell Avalos, you be the boss, but you feint him a little bit. You get that big shot out of the way, then you come in. You get him to reach. Take a step back at the right distance, not from too close. You get caught on the way out. Step back from the right distance, let Francisco reach a little bit, and then fill some spots. Little better job this last part of the round by Avalos, looking to just punch at the right times now, like that, inside the wide shots. Not looking to lead as much, just looking to let Avalos punch and then punch inside.
I got you.
I can see that opportunity I talked about earlier, Joe, where Avalos now could force Francisco back and catch him going back if he steps with him. There's one of those crazy shots again by Francisco.
I got you, stop. I got you, stop, let him go.
Coming to the halfway mark here, Francisco and Avalos, our main event.
We talked about the fight plan, that little bit of a Mayweather shoulder roll. There it was by Francisco. He took that little step back, you know, the poor man's version of the Mayweather shoulder roll. I don't think right now Avalos is thinking it's a poor man's version because it was very effective by Francisco. That little half step back, turn the right shoulder back, and counter with the right hand. Francisco pulled it off very well.
Stop. Listen. Hold him again. Keep holding. I'm taking the point away. Let him go when I tell you. Here we go.
So Tony Weeks says next time it's a point to Drian Francisco as Avalos tries to get himself to the inside. Stalking and trying to corral Francisco.
Another good job a moment ago by the referee, giving a warning before he took a point away. Again, we talked about it last week. Billy Dibbs was not given that benefit of any warnings.
Combination included 2 uppercuts right there. Every time he reached with the right hand, that came up short. And there's a lead right uppercut by Francisco.
Again, Francisco loves that right uppercut, and he'll throw it from outside, and he'll dare you to counter him with a left hook. And he won't throw it just lightly. He'll commit fully to that punch. You can't allow Francisco to just roam around the ring and pick his spots. You have to keep a jab on him. And right now, Avalos is doing a little bit better job. Even if you jab to the chest, Joe, very important to keep a jab on Avalos stabilized. There's a nice little left hook jab by Avalos. You have to keep it on Francisco. Otherwise, he's just going to roam around and pick spots and get you dizzy. If that jab's on him, he can't do that. I think Avalos doing a much better job after a tough round last round. And a lot of it's got to do with him using that jab. Again, just to stabilize Francisco right there on the outside. Don't let Francisco play his games.
No, stop, let him out.
We saw Francisco wincing moments ago.
I got you. Stop.
If these two fighters were artists, painters, Avalos would be looking to be a conventional painter. Paint something like a Michelangelo type painting, while Francisco, he's a graffiti artist. He just marks stuff all over the place and makes a mess, but an efficient mess.
One hot and ready pizza, $5.
Olusegun Ajosi taking on Hank Lundy next week from Salem, New Hampshire. It's going to be a 10:30 East Coast start time. Keep that in mind, 10:30 Eastern time next week for Friday night fights, the return of Hammerin' Hank Lundy.
And we love you fans out there. We keep you honest, don't we? Change the times on you a little bit, but you stay with us. We love you. Keep you thinking out there a little bit, just like you have to think in the ring.
Jab numbers, you see Avalos throwing 295, but a small percentage landed.
Stop.
See, that's what you got to be careful for. Those shots from above, all over the place by Francisco, and that's why the jab, again, I'm going to say it again, is so important in this fight for Avalos. That jab will stabilize and keep some of those wild shots from coming from Francisco. There's that jab again. When Avalos uses it, you see the effect of it. Now Avalos decides to turn southpaw. We talk, he can turn, he can switch. Right now, the straighter, compact punching of Avalos carrying the day. And it's nothing more than that. But he's punching at the right time. He's not leading. He's waiting for the right spots, not just walking in. Early on, he was just walking in, and he was walking into things.
Stop. Let him up. Turn around.
There's that jab again.
Smart with that jab.
Yeah. Really efficient.
Complaining of a low blow is Francisco.
I think he's complaining of a jab.
Yeah.
That's what's bothering him. And therefore, he'll complain about anything.
Stop.
To try to get a little relief from that jab.
Let him up. Hey, don't do that.
No, definitely don't do that.
And Tony Weeks saying, don't go hitting me. Don't punch on the break when I'm in here.
Hands free. I got you.
Weeks doing a pretty good job. You know, he, again, didn't just rush and take points away too fast, and he's allowing the guys, for the most part, to work in there.
It's a sweeping left and right from Francisco. Now he comes with that uppercut again, and Avalos returns fire of his own with a left hand. That's a wide right hand that time that Avalos can get to the inside of.
Stop.
Coming to the end of 7, scheduled for 3 more here in Vegas.
Let him up. Ha!
Guys, let's huddle up here and
Talking about the jab, well, here's proof of it. That jab, very effective for Avalos. Take another look. The first one, he gets that wide shot out of the way, and then again, best lines to somebody is usually the straight one, Joe.
And that's been the case with Avalos tonight. The 23-year-old from California who's ranked in the top 10 of the WBO and the BA at 122 pounds. Looking to notch a good, solid win here as he tries to put himself higher into contention. 21-2 right now. Francisco, the Filipino veteran, record of 24-1-1.
And this is where maybe you want to see that 7-year age advantage or disadvantage, wherever way you look at things. Where Avalos, 7 years the younger, start to use some of that youth. Is that right uppercut again?
Right uppercut again.
I'm shocked that Avalos in his corner, they're not aware of that punch. That punch, we talked about it early. It is in the arsenal. It is one of the main punches in the arsenal of Francisco.
Stop. I got you.
And again, he commits to it, Joe. He doesn't just, chuck it out there lightly. He puts everything in there. It is again. And he's taking a risk when he throws it because he's thrown it from outside. He drops it, and he allows you an opportunity, if you dare to do it, to step in and beat him with a left hook.
Interesting to see the scorecards, Teddy. You have it just a point differential. The fans at home on Friday Night Fight Facebook page had 2 even rounds in there.
So hold it. Hands free.
Okay.
Hands free. Stop.
Both trying to work behind that jab.
See, again, Avalos, the younger guy, the shorter puncher. What does that mean, Joe? He should be inside, and he should be working. Find a way to work when you get inside. There he found a way.
Through the right hand behind the jab.
I'm seeing the youth. I'm seeing the 7 years, the younger, start to show its face a little bit.
Give him up, baby. Give him up.
Avalos has that baby face, doesn't he? 23 years young.
Sure does.
I got you.
Same age as Glenn Tapia, who won our opening bout tonight with a TKO at the end of 8 over previously undefeated A.B. Hahn.
Good. Time out.
Now, was Avalos really affected, or does he need a little breather? But definitely looked like he got hit low. You never know. The fighter knows how he was affected. We never know for sure. Because remember, that protector there.
You know you're ready.
Weeks is giving him time, asking when he's ready. That protector is made out of leather and
let me know when you're ready.
metal. So if it's fitted right, it protects
Here we go.
you.
Keep him clean. Here we go. Time in. Let's go.
If it moves and it's not fitted right, you get hurt.
Jab snap back the head of Francisco. Avalos charging in here. Final 10 seconds of the 8th rounder. So a good left hook.
Women don't belong inside.
Foolproof punch of the night brought to you by Josterman. Let's take you back to Glenn Tapia's TKO of A.B. Hahn. In the 8th round, the blood-soaked face of Hahn and the right hand to that cut just above the left eye. The fight would be called after that round, and Tapia moved his mark to 19-0 with 11 knockouts. Round number 9 here, and a good pace being set early between Francisco and Avalos.
I think you're going to see opportunity this round. I talked about early in the fight for Avalos to pursue Francisco. He's 7 years younger, starting to show a little bit.
Come here.
Gloves are going to be cleaned off by the ref, and they're going to be at it again. But I think you're going to get an opportunity to see Avalos maybe force Francisco out of the pocket, and as Francisco goes straight back, maybe step with him and maybe catch him. And you're seeing the opportunities here. You see it already, Joe. I mean,
I got you. Stop.
Francisco will go straight back, number 1. And number 2, sometimes he'll go back with the hands a little low.
Followed him with a short right hand the last time he did that.
And that was a nice setup punch.
Stop.
I don't know if you saw that, but Francisco threw a left hook almost low. Got the attention of Avalos, and then right after that, he dipped a little bit like he was going to do it again, and he threw it high, trying to nail Avalos. With
time and time again, Teddy, with the lead right uppercuts.
Yeah, he loves that punch. And you think by now Avalos would understand it.
I got you.
And maybe do what Holyfield did with Buster Douglas when he won a heavyweight title. Maybe take a little step back, let that big uppercut hit the air, and then step in with the left hook. Fans at home remember that punch.
I can remember where I was watching that fight as well.
Where were you?
Believe it or not, in the family home of the Marcianos in Brockton, Massachusetts. Rocky's nephew, Steven, a good friend of mine. We went to college together, went home for the weekend, watched that fight.
Wow. You were in good company.
I got you. Stop.
Must have been plenty of pepperoni.
Yeah, Mrs. Marciano could cook it up pretty good, Teddy.
You know.
Stop.
Good Italian specialties there, I'm sure.
And the boys in Brockton could eat.
Little fresh ones around.
Stop. No.
See, there's the opportunity again. Francisco, 7 years older, getting worn down maybe a little, forced out a little bit. Opportunities for Avalos to go with him. And there's that try there by Francisco to do what we talked about in the fight plan. Step back and do that little right hand shoulder roll. Now you should be looking for an uppercut from Avalos, as Francisco's really leaning forward here, Joe. All right, this is a nice fight.
Crowd loving it right to the bell. Kind of action they came to see, kind of action that's been delivered all night here at Texas Station in Vegas. Let's listen to both corners. We'll start with Avalos.
Último round, mijito. Último round, flaco. Ocupamos este round, mijito, por favor. Pon la cabeza aquí, pechale. Pones, Mike. Dame el agua. Mijo, esta pelea, mijo, la ocupas. Esta pelea. Con por humor, mijo. Fuck it. ¿Oíste, mijo? Aquí.
Get up. To me.
Put your head up.
Listen. Listen to me. You need this round. Drum. Okay? You need it. Do you understand? Yeah. You need this round. You must have it, okay? I need it. Give me the... Let's go to work, okay? Don't stop.
Heard Justin Fortune, the trainer of Drian Francisco, emphatically telling him, you need this round. Give me this round. 10th and final round here.
Stop.
We apologize for how emphatically he said it, with the language that he chose, but he got the point across. I think he needs more than this round, to be honest with you. I think he needs a knockdown or maybe even a knockout. He needs a big right uppercut. That's what he needs, Joe. Francisco.
You know he's willing to throw it. 87-84, says Teddy, heading into this 10th round.
Here we go.
Friday Night Fight viewers say 5 rounds to a couple of even rounds in there.
Good job by the fan.
Stop, I got you. Stop.
I talked about it several rounds ago, but Joe, I think you've seen it come to fruition here. The youth of Avalos showing itself.
23 years old, Francisco 30 years old. And he's just walking him back now. Punch after punch. Good series for Chris Avalos.
I got you. I got you, stop.
Wide swinging right hand, well off the mark. And tying up on the inside. Able to escape that awkward left hand as Francisco is off balance, and more from Avalos now.
Now you're going to see the chance again for Avalos, I think, just to bring it home. Push Francisco
right
back a little bit, Joe, and catch him going back, as he does right now.
Should step into this right here, shouldn't he?
I agree.
This
I got you. Stop.
looking drained and weathered.
Yeah, he's on the cliff. Push him off the cliff. Right now, I think, believe it or not, Avalos should take a little half step back and throw that uppercut.
Just let that right hand go for a moment. Did Francisco.
Yeah, Francisco is weathered, worn, torn, hanging by its thread.
Younger, fresher, straighter, accurate punching of Chris Avalos.
Again, I think there's only 10 seconds left, but Avalos takes that little half step back and throws that uppercut. It's going to land.
There's a right hand. Francisco back against the ropes as Avalos looks to bring it home. Good main event. California's Chris Avalos rising up, ready to celebrate. We will hear from the judges when we return to Friday Night Fights. ESPN Friday Night Fights is presented by Corona Extra, proud sponsor of Friday Night Fights, and as always encourages you to relax responsibly. Teddy said it would be a night of action. Boy, was it, from the co-feature with Tapia right through Francisco and Avalos. This was Tapia's big win, TKO, to start the night. Now we wait to find out how the judges saw the main event between hopeful contenders at 122 pounds. CompuBox numbers between Francisco and Avalos. Avalos throwing 1,043 in 10 rounds. That's a good work rate. Teddy's scorecard 97-93. The fans at home, you can vote along on Facebook, Friday Night Fight. Couple even rounds, so they see it 6-2. Let's find out how the judges had it for that. We send it up to Lupe Contreras.
Ladies and gentlemen, after completing the scheduled 10 rounds, we consult the official scorecard to determine a winner. Judge Robert Hoyle scores about 96-94. And judges Morse, Jarman, and Roth turn in identical scorecards of 97-93. All three in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. And now, NABO Super Bantamweight Champion, the Hitman, Chris Avalos.
Good job by the judges.
Good win by Chris Avalos, 22nd of his career, as he is headed in the right direction at 122 pounds. As we send it up to the ring to Bernardo.
Thank you, Joe. Obviously, the sportsmanship between these two young fighters. Chris, a big win for you. The first 4 rounds were very tight. What allowed you to open up and take control of the fight?
I was just filling him out a little bit. First couple of rounds. Last rounds, I figured that he started stepping back, and as he stepped back, I noticed he was moving more to his right. So I said, I'm gonna come and double jab right hand. I'm coming inside uppercuts. You know what I mean? So I just started filling him out the first round. Last couple of rounds, I kind of had it packed down, so that's when I started catching him.
You know, at 122, there's a lot of talent, including Jonathan Romero, a man who beat you in a very disputed fight. Do you see yourself at that elite level to fight for a world title again?
I mean, it's up to my manager. I'm ready to fight whoever. I don't care who it is. 122, I'm ready. I want it. Bring it to me. I need it. I need it. I want to give this a shout out to my son, Ethan Avalos. This is for him. And also, I want to give a shout out to Casey Ridgway.
All right. His son, who just turned 1 today. So, Joe, Teddy, back to you. Big day for Chris Avalos.
A lot to celebrate for Chris Avalos and his entire camp. 22 wins now. We mentioned the close split decision losses. His only 2 losses were by split decision in his career. He earned every inch of this. A night for the victors. Glenn Tapia with the TKO and Chris Avalos with the unanimous decision win over Drian Francisco. We're going to take a short break and come back with more Friday Night Fights.
Avalos a little bit more polished. Francisco a little rougher, a little looser. Lives a little bit more life on the edge, a little dangerous with his hands down. And I think there's an opportunity for Avalos where Francisco likes to step away from you with the hands down. Avalos, I think, is pretty good at stepping with guys when they go back. That could be an opportunity for Avalos early. Step with Francisco going back and catch him going back. But what I like is both guys have fighters' mentalities, and both guys like to commit to the body.
Avalos doubling up that jab early and sends off a right hand to that left flank. Left hook at the back end of it. Now they tie up on the inside and bring Tony Weeks into action. 3rd man inside the ropes tonight.
Yeah, Avalos a little bit more succinct with his punches, straight with his punches. Francisco, real fighter's mentality, as I said, but sometimes a little wide with those shots. But I like the way Francisco doesn't just walk in the front door all the time. He'll move around a little bit, you know, has his own version of boxing. He'll move a little bit, looks a little cruder, but it's efficient, it's effective. He'll move around, he'll pick spots, and now he moves out, he'll look to step in at the right time. Both guys have to watch their heads in there. I'll tell you that early.
Warning from Tony Weeks.
Francisco's been involved with a technical draw in his career because of a head clash. And Avalos was involved in a head clash in his last fight.
Hands free.
Weeks trying to encourage them to work out of a spot like this.
Yeah, I like referees that let guys work out. Don't step in and break them so fast.
Come up, baby.
As long as one hand's free, let them work out.
Both men landing body shots moments ago. Good start to a main event that should deliver plenty. Francisco and Avalos, more to come.
It's not just a number.
Couple mistakes here. Avalos, well, first of all, he goes straight back, but he also has that left hand low when he goes back, so he eats the right hand. Take another look right here.
Grabbing his way to the inside again. And Francisco returns fire, creates space with a left to the body.
For the most part, you're probably going to see Avalos doing a little bit of boxing. He's not afraid to go inside, though. And Francisco looking to walk forward, looking for those spots. To either get to the body, as I said early, or set up a right hand. And there's a body shot by Francisco.
The right hand that landed against Avalos.
I give an edge to Avalos. The reason I give an edge to Avalos, Joe, is because he throws more compact punches. I talked about it in the fight plan. But there, you see Francisco actually catching Avalos going back straight.
Followed him with a right hand. Tried to sweep a... So good to see Teddy Jr., who is a hot rising NFL young executive, but trust me, the acting career is not that far away either.
A star is born, but the Oakland Raiders, they're not ready to give him up.
This should be a good one here with Tony Weeks as our referee between Francisco and Avalos.
Okay, gentlemen, you both received your instructions in your dressing room. Okay, right here is good, anything below is low. Right here is good, anything below is low. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourself at all times. Let's go.
Teddy, things to consider early here. What do you see?
Well, one thing that I think you're going to see is that, as I said in the fight plan,